No, it's not much good because I'm not using Zoom.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Spirit of SA number 3. We're getting there. At the moment, Tracy is not available or hasn't got the link. And with all good things, technology being what it is, our guest tonight is trying desperately to get onto StreamYard so that we can have a conversation with her. We were due to talk to Jo Thomson tonight from Paws Nourish and Relax. And to that end, we will eventually get there. If we don't get her tonight, then we will have her on again. But she is desperately trying to get herself on board. So we will continue to talk as long as we can and wait for Jo to come on board. As you would have seen last week, we had Lisa on, and that was a bit of a chinwag. And it's always good to try and get new people. I'm going to take these glasses off because they keep reflecting on the lens, and it's not very nice for me to be there talking with the lens. And excuse me while I drink my coffee. Last week we had Lisa, and each week we want to bring in new people for a little bit of difference each week. Like I say, this week we were meant to have Jo Thomson, and next week we're meant to have Shauna Antonoff from Reiki Healing Haven. So she will be talking about Reiki and energy healing and similar items. We're always on the outlook for people who are doing promos, who are doing fairs, markets. We're also looking for people who have retreats that they would like to organise or get people interested in. There are some beautiful places up in the Adelaide Hills who do wonderful retreats. I'm trying to think of the name of the Yukara, I think it is. Yukara up in the hills. There's a beautiful 5-roomed place up there that handles up to 20 people. It has a kitchen. It has balconies. It's right at the top of a hill. And they do beautiful retreats up there. So that's part of the Eucharia hall that's up there. And then there are quite a few up there that do, there's one that does a Women's Day once a week. And so, oh, excuse me. So these are people that we're looking for because they have something to offer a lot of people. Being winter, I seem to be suffering from the winter colds. Got a dribbly nose. That's never good. Right, I've got the plugs in, and we're good for talking. So if there's anybody out there, I certainly hope so. And we'll go to the comments. No. Well, we were hoping by now to be picking up a few people, so we're trying to encourage the people who come on board to advertise on their own channel and bring their own friends and family in so that we start getting a following. As you would be aware, we put this up on the Adelaide Wellness Fair, the Spiritual and Wellness Fair, My Time TV Live, and also on YouTube. So if you would care to join the YouTube family, you're more than welcome to come along and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the Spirit of SA, so it's part of the show. So we would like you to come along, plug in, become a subscriber. Each week we hope to bring you somebody on board who will hopefully be able to inform us and lift us up onto some new people and some new things that we're doing. One thing I would say is that when we do psychic mediums or readers or oracle people, we won't be asking them to do readings for the public. What we will be doing is talking to them as to how they got into it, how they managed to interpret the cards, and the things that get you the ability to get some sort of insight into who these people are. So when they come on board, we ask that you don't ask them for readings. They will probably do a general reading, most readers do, and that's about as much as we can ask for. One of the other things that we are doing, and I'm going to put this up. As you can see, that is on June the 19th, $2 to get in. And we've got about 50 odd stalls at the moment. We hope to have 70, but I'm quite happy with 50 plus stalls. The reason we put that one up is to encourage people who know of others who are doing markets or fairs around Adelaide and want people to come along and pick up their business. Then they're more than welcome to give us a call, 0412097361, and we will see if we can organise a time or something where they can advertise their fair. As with any new video, it's always we're always bound with technicals, and sometimes we get lucky and everything goes as it should. And then there are times when we wish to God that the lightning would strike and we could stop ourselves, but we promise to do something each week. So unfortunately, you've got to listen to me this week. It seems that Tracy is having trouble getting in, which is always a worry. And it seems that Jo may not be able to join us at this point, so we will keep going. Oh my goodness, I've still got 20 odd minutes to go yet, so this is going to be difficult for everybody listening. Oh, I better turn that down again. Yeah, putting the glasses on like that doesn't help because it catches the screen where I'm looking. So one of the other upcoming events that is happening in July is a market. There is a double market going on in the RSL Hall on Rosetta Street in Croydon Park. And to that end, there will be a local market, which is going on, and then the Adelaide Wellness Market will be doing a little bit in that market at a room at the back. So if you're interested in following the Adelaide Wellness Fair, you're more than welcome to go to the Facebook page, AW Fair, and log in and see where the fairs are. We've got another one, we're planning one going country in Tanunda, so that should be a very large fair down there. And being only an hour out of the city, if you would prefer to take that and come down, we would love to see you in February. We will be having a break in January, so February will be the first one next year. And we're taking that into Tanunda, so there'll be around about 70 stalls, presentations, food on the day. There'll be all sorts of stuff happening. There's an oval there, there's a playground, so if you're bringing the children, they can be playing in the playground while you do the stalls, or they can come in with you. We have a phenomenal charge. It's $2. So I know that there are quite a few people who are doing fairs out there. There's one on Goodwood Road that is quite a good fair. Queen of Wands does Blackwood, also does along Northeast Road, and they're doing quite a few now out in the southern suburbs. It is our plan at some point to see if we can get them on to talk about their fairs, but at the moment we're putting up any fairs that are willing to send us an email, give us a call, and we'll try and put your market up each week as we go through it, so long as there's a little bit of time for us to be able to get it on before the event. So we don't want to be, trying to advertise it when it's already finished and we don't have any opportunity to get you or what's going on out to the public. So please let us know early in advance. We can put it up each week until the event comes up. So that's one of the areas that we're trying to explore. Another one is trying to find places around Adelaide and suburbs areas, Whyalla, Kangaroo Island, wherever, that have something to offer in the way of spiritual relaxation, or perhaps wineries or something that offer something which is. Well, I've got somebody on the phone here trying to talk to me, so I'm just going to have to mute for a moment. So please bear with me. Well, we are desperately talking to Jo Thomson, and she is valiantly still going forward in the hopes of being able to get on board. And we might stretch the broadcast out a little bit if Jo can manage to get on board. It's always good if there's a second person or third person on board to have a chat with. I might have to get more than one in the future just to be sure that we've got someone to talk to, I guess. I've forgotten where I was. Oh, yeah, Kangaroo Island. Or somewhere like that, a winery, or somewhere that offers something which it might simply be a real place for relaxation where you have access to something else. Maybe a beach, maybe a local community, something that offers anything to do with wellness, health, spirituality. These are all the things that we want to try and promote and offer to the public. So again, I will continue to bugbear on this. I want to promote that as much as possible. We have a lot of people who are on our list, and we have maybe 4 to 6 months worth of people that will be coming on board. But honestly, it's not worth having the YouTube channel if we're not getting the patronage. So that will be one of the things that we will be aiming at in the near future. And unfortunately, like all things, costs. So we need sponsorship, and we need people who are willing to pay to be on the show. Another one of those lovely fundamentals that we have to put up with, unfortunately. But each week, if it's not me, it will be Tracy who's on board, Tracy Fredericks. Tracy runs the Oracle shop and is gradually coming into her own with organising fairs and markets. So that's another one that's on the long list. I think the biggest ones that I know at the moment would probably be Queen of Wands. Coming up again in October will be the Body, Mind, Psychic. So that's another one. I want to try and see if I can get on to the organisers of that, and we'll bring them in and see if we can have a chinwag about how hard it is to set that up, get it going, and the organisation that goes behind it, whether there's a selection pro forma for putting on such a market. It's a very active market, it only comes around once, maybe twice a year. So if it's one of those things that you're interested in, that is the market to be at for the year. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of really large markets around Adelaide. We have the one at Smithfield coming up, and that's probably one of the bigger ones for that area, being around the 70 stalls. We've been looking out south, but unfortunately we have yet to come up with a venue which is can handle the numbers that we would really like to try and use, and still come in within a budget that the average group or whatever can afford. There is still a lot of advertising and stuff that has to go on, and if it's not a viable thing, then we have to keep turning it down, which is a shame. That's probably the underlying essence at the moment, is that a lot of the markets that we've been to or that we're a part of, it's very difficult now for small business to make ends meet, because everything is now becoming more expensive and difficult to get in. Places where we were paying, say, $50 before, we're paying $60 to $80 for now. So this means an ongoing cost for stallholders, and when we have to add in advertising and the likes, it becomes a phenomenon where a lot of these markets may actually drop to one side because it's becoming unbearably expensive for the people running them. I know that there's a couple down at Semaphore, there's one on Goodwood Road, and they're not huge markets. So if they can't get the council permission or the permission from the builders or from the community centre or whatever it is, then it becomes an expensive hobby that a lot of these people just can't warrant. So we are continuously looking for venues which can handle a larger number so that we can put the same number of stallholders in, and well, actually more, but try and keep the price down so that we can cover our costs. And to that again, it is sponsorship and people helping out where it's possible, either through advertising or finding venues or coming up with ideas that we haven't yet even come across. So if you're actually watching this, and this is number 3, so we will certainly listen to what you've got to say, and we would love to see some comments coming through from time to time, just to let us know that people are tuning in. They won't always be at 4:30. I mean, we do it at 4:30 because it's convenient for most of the people that we deal with. Some of them want to do it at 7:30 at night, and that's fine. It does open up a later opportunity for people to tune in, but it will always be on YouTube. So even if you miss this one, number 3, we'll get Jo back at some point. And there will be other people, especially, as I said, we're hoping to have Shauna Antonoff on next week. Shauna does Reiki healing, energy healing. There's a great many people in Adelaide, around the suburbs and around the country towns, actually, that do Reiki healing, energy healing, crystal light healings, intuitive healings. There are just so many varieties now that even the counselling is now being split into smaller groups. So the idea is to find as many of these people local in the country so that we can talk to them, and you will have the opportunity to communicate with these people, and hopefully you can give them a call wherever they are and make appointments with them to have a healing, have counselling, pick up their products. I really would love to talk to Jo tonight, because Paws Nourish Relax, the interesting part of that is they don't just cater for the adults and children, they cater to the fur babies. So your cats, your dogs, I don't know, if you've got elephants, they might cater to those. But they cater to the animals as well. And there's another woman who her entire repertoire is healing animals, and that's Blue Fire Reiki. And if there's somebody out there that we know about that does something in particular and people ask, we will pass on your name if we know you and what it is you do. So sending us an email, it's not going to cost you anything. You just send us an email, tell us what you do, where you are. If you're interested in doing an interview, that's fine. If we've got a fair or a market going on in that area, you're more than willing to drop off some pamphlets, some brochures, whatever you've got, even some business cards. And that will be enough for us to get out there and get your name around whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling, whatever healing modalities that you have. We know people down in Tapley's Hill Road that is a herbologist, or at least that's what I think she calls herself. Yes, Anois herbs and energy healings. And I don't know what area you're in, but we will try and find people in different areas to manifest and bring forward so that they can answer all of your questions. But we do need you. We need you to log in. We need you to come on board and help us to promote the spirit of SA. and where it's going to. We have a special guest on at the moment. Just give me a second, and I'm going to bring Jo up. Hi, Jo.
Hi there, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to see you managed to get it all going.
Yeah, that's the joys of having young neighbours who work in IT. So thank you. Yep.
Lovely. And you've got Google Chrome up and StreamYard and everything's working.
I don't know what he did. I just said, can you
go ahead and do it?
And help me, yes. So he just said, just hit that, and I'm going now. So, yeah, I'll have to owe them a cake or something. So, yes, good afternoon, and I'm sorry for the delay.
You're here, and that's the main thing.
That's it.
I'm sure that I bored these people to death trying to find something to talk about.
Yeah, the weather.
So let's start with Jo.
Yes.
How is Jo today?
Jo is very well. Jo did lots of errands today and did her shopping to make sure she was home in time to clue into this at 4:30. And guess what?
You made it. It's only 4:57. We've got 3 minutes. Oh, dear. Okay, then. Let's start anywhere. How did the name Paws Nourish Relax come out?
Basically, the products I was doing start with the paws, being PAWS. Bring my dog into it because he rules the house. But yeah, making homemade dog biscuits, all made in my kitchen and all natural and pug approved. So that's where that started. And the Nourish was I started dehydrating fruit, mainly for my own use because I love gin and tonic, even in my daily water. Can't help myself. But yeah, and it was like, nourishes the body, and the Relax. I've been making candles for a while for my own use and then for friends. And then somebody said, well, why aren't you making them and selling them? So I thought, we nourish the dog, we nourish ourselves, but we relax and enjoy my lovely candles.
There you go. Absolutely brilliant. Just a quick one. The area that you're in, what area is it?
I'm in Mawson Lakes.
There you go. So there's a lot of people down that way. And I'm surprised, actually, with the number of people that are sort of awakened down in that area. It's a very brave and large crowd.
It is.
Anybody that's out around Mawson Lakes or Cavan or anywhere out that way, even Salisbury, that far out.
Yep.
Give Jo, listen, Jo, while you're doing this, just give them a contact that they can use to get in touch with you.
Yeah, my private mobile number is 0410 113354. I do have a group. At this stage, it's still a private group, but yeah, by all means, message or contact me. Happy to add you to that group. So you can search under Paws Nourish Relax. But yeah, no, happy to, friends of friends or whatever. Yeah, happy to look after you. But I have a range of products, starting as cheap at, $3, ranging up to, and yeah, just have I figure the business name sort of covers all sorts of bits and pieces, and I try and just add, a few little mix-ups to my tables at the odd markets I do, and it's just really nice getting out and meeting people and talking to people, which I enjoy. We all love a chat, so yeah.
How many markets do you do?
Mainly yours.
Thank you.
I recently did the Rotary Club one at Ingle Farm, the Mother's Day one. That was good fun. I prefer the indoor ones, I've got to be honest. I think they're just easier and tidier and more comfortable for all of us, let's be honest.
Have you done Queen of Wands?
No, did it in the very, very early days, but haven't done, not for quite a while now. So, yeah, mainly yours. It's not something I'm, how can I say? I'm happy to do one every couple of months. It's not, I'm not saying it's not a high priority. It's for fun. It's just for good fun and just getting out there.
Absolutely brilliant. There's no better reason for it.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose the big question is,
Uh-oh.
why did you start?
Why did I start? I stopped working full time. And as I said, I'd for a long time been buying everybody else's candles. And I thought, wonder if this is something I might like to have a try, again, just for my own sake. And then my husband and I have both retired. And I thought, wow, I'll just have a look and see how this goes. And as I said, a few people, friends would say, wow, that smells really good. Can you make me one? How much is it going to cost me? And then I got involved with another group you deal with, Roy, is Twisted Zen, Susie and Ken.
Beautiful couple.
Name dropping. But no, they're really
No,
good.
that's fine. That's fine.
Really good friends of mine. And just a couple of times I went to markets just to visit them, see them. And they said, do you want to, you should really do this. And I thought, you know what, there's nothing stopping me. So I stocked up, made some candles. I have there's a coffee shop called Mr. G's at, Greenfields. Beautiful coffee shop if you ever need a decent coffee or a feed. Vanessa actually stocks some of my candles in there and does quite well with them, which I really appreciate. We help each other out. So it just sort of goes from there and just built from there. And now I have enough to come along to your markets and hopefully sell some stuff.
And hopefully we'll encourage you to go to even bigger markets and become el famos.
Well, don't need famous, but no, as I said, to me, it's just something I enjoy doing. As I said, when I was buying other people's and going to the shops and spending a small fortune on some of them, and mine are ranging even, from $3 for the little tiny ones up to $30 for the big ones. So I try and have a range. So if you're sort of thinking, oh, too expensive, can't be bothered. No, I try. I've got a couple here, if I can just show you. There's a couple of little tiny ones there. That's only quite a small one. That's a bigger one there. Whoop, turn it around that way. Love that.
You've got to remember to do everything back to front.
Yes, back to front. Yes, I do. But yeah, I've sort of also been doing reed diffusers, like room diffusers as well. So as I said, just fluffing around and having a bit of fun, being a bit crafty. And supporting a couple of charities that it comes around and it goes around. So I'm happy to.
As it does, yes.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Liability, I guess, having to get all sorts of council standards and other stuff to get what you want to put out there?
I faced that only with my dehydrated citrus, which I don't know if we talked about yet. So I do that as well.
Lovely.
Yeah. Salisbury Council, I had to go through a bit of not jump through hoops, but ended up they said they had to come to my home. I think it cost me $50 or $60, and they had to see my kitchen as it was if I was preparing to do a batch of, if you like.
Yeah.
So she sort of stood there and she said, right, tell me what you're doing. And it was like, well, I clear the whole kitchen bench. I set up everything in movement. I had to buy a particular cleanser and food standards. And I have a certificate that tells me my food has been prepared in food grade standard according to council regulations.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't hard.
And there's of course all the other expenses as well. There's insurance, public liability. There's the hidden costs of running any small business.
Absolutely.
And I would think that I don't know whether you've been out in the last couple of days, but everything that I've been trying to do, I've found is about 30 to 40% more expensive now this week.
Okay.
I've just had to make some signs for the fair, and what was about $35 is now $50 odd.
Really?
So the costs of doing anything now is
So where do we blame that? Do we blame the pandemic, the economic situation, the government, where do, fuel's expensive, freight's expensive? How do
Yeah, bit of everything, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
fortunately, I've seen a few posts of people saying, "Oh, look, I'm wanting to branch out in that. How hard it is. What do I need?" And as you said yourself, your tables, your stock, your decorations, your
labels, your advertising, your Facebook, your
square
yeah,
reader, and
yeah,
there is a
and
lot to
everything costs.
it.
So I'm noticing that some of the people that were doing reasonably well before are now second guessing.
Okay.
They're beginning to wonder whether the cost of doing it is worth the cost of the return. And I hate to see that happen, but I got a
Absolutely.
feeling some of these small businesses are
Yeah.
not going to handle it.
I mean, I love, jumping in the car, and if I see, if I have to duck out to the shops on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm the first one. Oh, there's a market over there. I'll go over and have a look.
Yeah.
I think for a little while, from what I could see, or whether I was just a bit more conscious of it, it just seemed there was 3 or 4 or 5 markets within X amount of kilometres. Whereas at the moment, I'm starting to see people saying, I'm looking to go to a market. Where are they? Or I have products to sell. Can anyone recommend one in this? So whether it's gone from overkill to not enough, I'm really not sure.
I can only speak from where I'm coming from, the markets that I'm doing, and I have found the costs in some of these places now to be exorbitant.
Correct.
I look at them and think, all right, I can get X number of stalls in.
Yep.
But the cost of what I'm going to have to ask the stall holder, I'm not getting anything back.
Correct. Yep.
I end up costing more, and that's no longer viable. And I think if that's happening to me, how many other markets are suffering the same disease, if you will?
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, if as a stall holder, if I'm, loading my car up with all the equipment I've bought and all the products I've made and the investment of that, I mean, it's not going to go off. It is still just boxed up sitting. But if I'm spending an hour and a half to get there set up, 6 hours sitting there, and I don't even cover my stall fees, well, it's a bit,
Unfortunately, even that, there are fairs that still die like that. I mean, you were at Unley, I believe.
No, didn't do that one. I was busy that weekend socially.
That's one that we had everything, the advertising space, a good venue. We had a shopping centre across the road, and people just made enough, and that's ridiculous.
I thought
You'd think it was a good area, but it turned out it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. Candles.
Yes.
Are they simply a soy blend, or do you do others? And what are the fragrances you've got going?
I use only a quality soy blend wax. Fragrances, I have lots of different types. I'm happy if somebody says I want a particular one they know they love, I'm happy to either source it to get it. As I said, ranging from plain little jars up to quite decorative, big, double wick type things. I mean, I can show you this one is that's a double wick, and it's actually in a little trinket jar. So once you've burnt your candle,
you've got a trinket jar to work with.
I've got a trinket jar to work with, and they're all gift wrapped and they come in a box. So they're an easy.
Can your customers bring back those and get them refilled?
They can, yes. Yes, most certainly. Yeah, happy to do that.
Yeah, I would think that would save both parties a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
It would save you having to buy one and save them from having to worry about getting another vessel.
Research does tell me that even the really good quality, even if I was to say, dare I say, glasshouse candles, I am told that you should only refill them once, maybe twice. I don't know how true that is, and simply because the wax going from hot to cold, if it's burnt several times, a lot of times, it can change the structure. So I can only say what I'm told. Some of the cheaper, the real skinny glass ones, I don't bother because I just I'm following all safety procedures.
As you should.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I'm a little bit wary of that. If I can say, when I first started making them, people would say to me, "Oh, can you put twice as much of the fragrance in because I like it really strong?" And the answer is no, and it's not just a matter of I'll melt that, chuck that in. That's really, really easy. And the problem is, if you use too much oil, the volume
becomes volatile, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So when people say, well, I want it stronger, put in extra mils of the fluid, you can't do that.
No.
It can ignite. So I'm very much cautious. Everything is labelled on the bottom with safety and dare I say, common sense. I always, even sitting here, mine are on a glass or metal tray to just protect them, because just in case. But as I said, I don't use inferior jars. I don't buy the cheap, nasty ones, simply for that reason, because I need to know that they're good quality. And a lady recommended to me when I first started learning how to make them, and as she said, always do a full burn, which you don't normally do. You would burn for an hour or two, blow it out, and let it cool down. And she said that's how she tested hers, and she's never had a problem. But yeah, I'm very much follow the instructions on how the product is to be used and played with.
Yep.
So yeah.
So the dried fruits and the like that you have, are these just what's available at the time, or do you have a regular sort of turnover of stuff?
Regular turnover. I had to laugh when the council lady was here, and she said to me, "You must have your name, address, and use by date on them." And I said, "There's no such thing as a use by date." And she said, "There has to be." And I said, "There isn't." I said, "It's dry. There's no chemicals. There's nothing. It is pure fruit, dried, air dried." And we were not arguing about it. And I said, "I knew you were coming out." And I said, "I've Googled it." And I said, "I could put on 2 weeks, 2 years, 200 years. That product is still going to be the same in 200 years because it can't go off. There's nothing." It's really, really quite weird. The only risk would be if it didn't dry properly. But as far as, I do put a use by date on them, but I do that because I've been required to. As I said, I've got a big jar next to my stove that I will have a G&T in about an hour's time. And
I survived.
That's the jar that every time I do a batch of fruit, I will top that jar up with bits that break or don't look as, perfectly formed. And as I said, that's the jar I open. Of a morning, if I'm home, big glass of water, I chuck in a couple of bits of, whether it be lime, orange, lemon, whatever, goes in my water. I sip at it all day. And it's just that little bit of flavour. But of course, in your drinks, it's decoration as well as just that little bit of flavour without overwhelming it. But it's tasty. You can taste it there.
And the dog, well, I say dog, I mean the animal products.
Yes.
Is there a specific range, or is it only catering to dogs? Or
only catering to the dogs, and it was simply my boy's actually sitting at my feet saying, "Who are you talking to? Because you're not talking to me." That was just simply because I make them for him. Again, I had a batch of them, and Susie said to me one day, because I'd actually been to her house and said, "Here, give the puppies or dogs some biscuits. I've just made Teddy a batch." And she said, "Well, you've got a stall going on. Why aren't you doing a few bags of them on the end of the stall?" So I was like, why not? So, but yeah, very much pug approved. I can't guarantee them from everybody, but 99% have chomped them down.
There you go. That's all you can ask for. Yeah. Hopefully you can get some people to give you some recommendations as to how good they are, and it'll get you some more sales.
Yeah, but as I said, Teddy loves them, and he would, he'd eat a shoe if you told him it tasted like something. But no, I have a list obviously where the product is. I have a list of what's, don't quote me right this minute, but no, I have a list of what ingredients are in them, obviously.
Yep.
And even to the point of peanut paste, there's an ingredient in peanut paste which isn't dog friendly. You have to buy a different brand of peanut paste to make sure it's adequate. So I try really hard to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Animal friendly.
Animal friendly.
All right, Jo, is there anything that we have not discussed that you would like to mention?
The fact that it's nearly GNT time. Did we go that path yet? No, probably.
I think we'll leave that one go. And
A glass of cold water with some orange slices in it is good for me. So no, I do apologise for logging in late. I don't admit to being computer savvy. As I said, I saw the neighbours' kids come home and went, send over the kids.
Yeah.
So I should have probably done it earlier, but that's my fault. But
look, technical difficulties happen on these shows as regular as clockwork. So I was not terribly worried about the fact that you weren't there in the beginning. And the fact that you got on means that we've gone a bit over, but that doesn't mean anything either. It just means that we've had the chance to talk to you.
Thank you.
If you know of anybody that would be interested, please feel free to mention us, and we want to get it out there to as many people as possible. You're more than welcome to go onto the YouTube space there, take down the link and put that on your own page or put it wherever you want to put it.
Okay.
But we would really love to get some regular people in and on the YouTube and get some comments so that we can try and get this up and running and more people interested. It's been a pleasure to have a talk with you, and hopefully maybe in about 6 months or so we can look at doing it again to see how things have changed.
I hope so. Yeah. Can I just show you? Can I just show you the crochet chakra cushion I made the other week?
Why not? Oh, look at that. Are you selling these as well?
Well, yes. I mean, this is the first one that's finished. I'm halfway through another one. I haven't worked out the price yet, but that is so cute. Look how big it is, and it's so fluffy, and in my chakra colours. So yeah. So, and that's what I mean. Just trying to, make something different. Yeah.
Broaden it. Yeah.
Broaden my horizons. So,
yes. So if anybody is tuning in now or at any time in the future on YouTube, you're more than welcome to give Jo some sort of message and say, look, can I get one of your chakra pillows? We need to buy next week.
Chakra candles?
Oh, sorry. I think I've just been slapped. Jo, I'm going to have to put you into the library so that I can close out. It only takes a couple of minutes, so we'll see how we go from there. All right?
Terrific. Thank you so much for having me on. And, here to help if anybody's looking for any gift ideas. So thank you.
Lovely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. I'll put up the fare that we've got going. That was the fair that's coming up, the John McVeigh Centre, June 19th, $2 to get in. It's on Peachy Road at Smithfield Plains. Thank you very much for joining us. Next week we will have Shauna Antonoff doing Reiki Healing Haven, and this will be another aspect that we can put forward. So tune in then, get onto our YouTube page and let us know what you think. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.